Hello.
Hello.
I guess it would help if I put us in the live stream.
Maybe.
Apologize for being late, everybody. We're having some technical difficulties.
am.
Trying to get the audio sorted out. You might be able to hear a bit of the feedback, so bear with us while we get that sorted out. And
I think
we'll
my
get to the show here
suggestion,
momentarily.
I don't know what that sounds like to the viewers. If somebody is already watching us, can you tell me if there's some?
Oh, yeah.
Because you guys might be able to just deal with the feedback. If the viewers can hear it, we don't want that. But I'm thinking I might have to just restart my entire computer.
If that's what you need to do, I mean, Andy and I can hold down the fort. And
That's what I was
see you in
thinking.
a
We'll
couple of
try
minutes.
that anyway. I'll
Sure.
see everybody live in a sec.
All right, man. See you on the
I'll
flip.
be right back. Okay.
Okay. Well, hey, man.
Hey,
How's it going?
it's going.
It's been a little while. Apologize to everybody who was anticipating the show last night. It is a holiday weekend here in Ontario and most of the country right now, if not the entire country.
Yeah.
So yeah, holiday weekend. I had folks in from out of town, and things went later than I had expected. So very graciously, you guys allowed me to push the show off to today. So I accept responsibility for that one.
You fiend. What have
I
you done?
know.
The world
I
will spin
know.
off its axis.
Before we get into what's happening tonight, did you catch it was another TV spot yesterday, the day before, for Ahsoka?
I believe there was a 45-second spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
Yes.
What'd you think?
So good.
I don't want to get too drawn into trailers and stuff because we are going to talk about them on our other show on Random Fandom. We're going to do that tomorrow night in its regular time slot at 6 p.m. Eastern, so you can join us for that one. But did you think there was a lot of anything new? There's a couple little things.
Well, we finally get to see a live-action Inquisitor use his lightsaber like the spinny thing.
That's true.
So
we also got to see the back end of the Ghost.
Yes.
So for sure,
So
the
confirmed.
Ghost is making an appearance. Radar says, it sounds good to me. Well, I'm glad that it's sounding good on your end. Hopefully, Hank, the restart on his computer is enough to
bump it through.
Correct the gremlins.
Yeah.
The Ghost in the Machine.
Speaking of, have you seen the new Mogwai series?
Is it out yet?
It is out and airing. It's
who's got it? Is it?
I think Cartoon Network has it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say it's not a Netflix thing, is it?
No.
Cartoon Network, Gremlins. I have not seen that.
I watched a couple episodes and I'm not happy.
Oh,
it's
why? What's
it's
going
different.
on?
Like the animation style already out of the gate.
Yep.
Doesn't really catch me, but
that's
you
fair.
can't fault them for that. That's my personal preference.
Of course, yeah.
But the storyline, like there's wizards and gremlins working for this evil warlock, and
so is this a period piece? Like
it's
okay.
like supposed to be taking place like 100 years or more prior to the movie.
Gotcha. Yeah, North America, Asia.
I would say heavily Asian influence, because it feels like a feudal Japan type thing. But
I kind of thought that they were well, that was like an imported thing, right?
Yeah. He was like selling antiquities and whatnot from strange and faraway lands.
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly. Well, that's interesting to know. I was aware of it. We talked about it before.
We did, but then they didn't really promote that it was dropping or.
No,
check it out now on whatever. But
I watched the Super Mario Brothers last night.
What'd you think?
It was good. I was really tired, so I may have had a couple of extra long blinks while I was watching it.
Well, I'll
But
have to give it a second watch for all the Easter eggs.
right from the get-go, I was very impressed with all of the little visual cues, like all the photos on the wall in the restaurant were like, oh, look, there's the guy from the Nintendo Golf, and there's the screen from Duck Hunt, the name of the place, the oh my god, it was like something foul, like there's a duck on the building on the marquee. I thought it was quite cute. Yeah. So tonight we're going to be talking a little bit more about Ahsoka. We're switching over to live action, not to steal Hank's thunder, but that's where we're at.
The road is drawing close to the end.
We've got this episode. We've got another
one more live action, and then the
Hank
list.
One more. Yeah, the Hank list. That's awesome. And then it's right into Ahsoka, which that marketing is rampant, is in full swing now. Yeah. So if you have not had a chance to take a look at the live action trailer and the TV spots for the show, go check it out. What did you think of the Master and Apprentice spot?
I don't know that I've seen that one.
It's another short one, but it's
is that the one where Ahsoka and Sabine are kind of going at it?
Wow. Okay, hang on a second here. I'm just getting a message from Hank on our private chat looking for another login. Stand by.
Regardless, it does look good. So I'm going to fill some airtime here.
Go for it.
I didn't get to see the Meg this weekend. Apparently, it's not playing at our local historical theater, so I'm holding out. Apparently, Barbie broke the 1 billion mark.
I did hear that Barbie broke 1 billion, and I'm like, oh, what?
Joining a list of apparently 50 movies that have done so.
Just 50.
Just 50.
Well, that seems like a very it's a very short list.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Now, what are we doing?
Did we hear that the Mandalorian season 4 might be turning into a movie?
This has come up, and I'm not sure.
I haven't researched
what the validity of this is.
Rumor, but I would almost want a season. You know, don't give me a 2-hour movie. Give me a 6-hour season.
We know that the live action series that are set in the, I guess we can call it the combined Mandoverse, we're going to terminate with this, the Filoni movie. Does that mean that is the next, the next fourth season of The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
I can't see them doing that. I mean, they did that. No, I shouldn't say that. The line between television series and film is so blurred now.
Yeah.
And the production budgets on these shows are what is going on here? That doesn't make sense. Sorry, I'm just trying to troubleshoot what's going on here with Hank. We're trying to get him back. This is what happens when you do stuff in the background. He says that one's no good. Did I give him the wrong one?
Maybe. I think it's been 10 minutes since the last one.
5:56. Oh, I see. Hold on a second. My problem. My apologies. We'll try that one.
Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't.
What's interesting is when you use a third-party streaming software and they use for security purposes. There's no just straight login. It's you got to request a security code, which I personally find that to be fine. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Normally, this stuff is done ahead of time, and we don't have issues like this. But sometimes it does. You get that ghost in the machine, and that's what happens. This is going to make for a great audio one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. We'll have to chop it up a little bit.
I've got the. I'll be back in a couple seconds, so we'll just see what happens. Oh, followed with a grrr.
Oh no,
can't be that good. You know, we would just move on with the show, but your browser doesn't support. Oh, look at that! Isn't that something? Let's see. You can use that one, or yeah, must be.
Does this count as dead air?
I guess it does. Yeah, as I'm hammering away, you might be able to hear me like hammering away on the keys.
Click, 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 click. So anyway, what is it? A priest, a rabbi, or no? What is it? A clergyman, a priest, and a rabbit walk into a bar.
A clergyman, a priest, and a rabbit.
Rabbit says, "I must be a typo."
Oh, that's funny. Okay. We got one new message. Okay, that one.
Ahsoka. This is the way. Troubleshooting apparently is the way.
Yeah, troubleshooting is the way. Like I said, normally we'd have this stuff sorted ahead of time, but unfortunately that didn't happen tonight.
No. What you make do?
My apologies again, everybody, but that is what happens when you do it live. Speaking of doing it live, I know I'd.
I think there's our next.
Wait,
t-shirt.
Is that another T-shirt? Oh
We do
my
it
gosh,
live.
these things keep writing themselves. We've been using StreamYard now for StreamYard, by the way, is our
Platform of
streaming software that we do like using. We've been using it now for well over 2 years. I joined the official StreamYard community group right shortly after we started using it. There's a lot of tips and tricks and things in there, and of course, the people that run the group are a lot of the folks that actually work for StreamYard. They asked last week, who's using StreamYard to run their podcast? I had said to them that we are, and we got invited to participate in a marketing study. Yeah, so pretty excited about that.
Have
Hey,
you been to the dentist?
you're back.
That was like pulling teeth.
And
You know when you go to the dentist.
I must have gone to a funky website because Firefox. I
Yeah.
restarted my computer. I did a test in Apple Music just to
Oh,
make
sure.
sure.
Yep.
Played through my headphones.
Yeah,
Went to
yeah.
Firefox. That's why I signed in for a split second.
Yep.
I could hear you through my speakers,
Isn't
even
that
with my
bizarre?
headphones plugged in.
Okay.
So now I'm signed into Chrome, and we're lickety tickety stickety boo.
I'm getting no feedback, no reverb. Everything
Excellent.
sounds pretty good.
I will uninstall Firefox and reinstall it at a later juncture.
Interesting. All right. Well, let me close this.
So like Bugs Bunny said, on with the show.
On with the
What
show.
a miss.
I was just saying, well, we were mostly talking about troubleshooting and apologizing for the technical difficulties, but sometimes that happens. But I was just mentioning that we've been using StreamYard now as our live streaming platform of choice for over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly after we adopted it, I joined the official StreamYard Facebook community group. So I've been following that group now pretty regularly, like a few times a week. And last week, one of the admins who happens to work for StreamYard asked who's using StreamYard to do their podcast. And I said, my recording partners and I have been using it now for over 2 years.
We do.
I got a private message from the admin asking if we'd like to participate in a marketing survey.
Oh, cool.
So I have to email them back and say, yes, we are totally willing. When would you like to set that up? So that's exciting. That's exciting.
Excellent.
I'd also asked Andy if he had seen, I should ask you as well. Did you catch the TV spot, the Master and Apprentice spot?
Oh, yes.
What did you think? What did you think?
I love everything. If you stamped Ahsoka Tano on a rock,
Yeah,
I would buy it.
same. And of course, we have a new TV spot that came out. I think we decided that was yesterday.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yes.
yesterday.
I haven't seen yesterday's because I sort of was quiet yesterday and then work all day today. So
great. I don't want to spoil it for you.
no,
but,
it's okay.
We get a look at the exterior of the Ghost.
Mhm.
It's a very quick shot, but the Ghost and the T6 shuttle are in frame together.
Yep.
We also get another look at that fight between Marok, Ahsoka, and the HK droid. That thing moves pretty fluid. It moves more humanly than the Grievous's Magna Guards.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Anyway, it looks really, really cool.
excellent. Excellent.
It is the road to Ahsoka. We're all
It
here
is.
now. So without further ado, I thought I would turn things back over. You are in the con tonight, Hank.
Do I have a little accessy poo? Where's my buttons?
You should have them all there. We haven't put up the slideshow yet. So do you want that in now?
Yeah, you can go ahead. We can continue to casually talk over the first slide.
Oh, sure. So I'll just throw that in there.
And there it is. And there she is.
And then flip us over here like that.
Anybody guess why I picked that one for our cover? Man,
I don't know.
I want a full body tattoo of Ahsoka Tano all over my whole body.
So,
that is the most samurai Western.
Oh, it's a standoff, like
stuff.
Tension.
Yeah.
And I screen capped that about 5 times, and it was like I was editing the movie, you know, like the one where I got the cloak flowing the best was like, that's the one.
Yeah.
I'm over the moon about this episode. Really, like watching it like this, and I know we did it before.
Excuse me.
But
yeah.
You know, and we were focusing so much on what's Grogu going to do, and then you know, when we get his name, we were like, oh, I can't think past that, and you know, there's a few other moments I can't think past because of things that happen. But now, like almost blocking Grogu, you know, if you were to rework this show and have her be the protagonist of the show and have her on an adventure of the week and have those are the guest stars,
they would bounce in and out,
you know, like in this episode, Grogu and I traded it like they were the guest stars passing through another Ahsoka episode.
Right. Okay.
And so I think my writing will totally reflect that.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Did you want to let that guy out of the closet?
Oh, wait, this one? Bad Star Wars jokes.
Yeah, I took a plunger to the internet this week to see what I could get.
A good one.
I thought maybe I got a little bit of I got a little stuff here. So why didn't Darth Plagueis ever catch COVID-19?
Why didn't Darth Plagueis catch COVID-19?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know either.
Did he get the vaccine?
Oh no. It's because he's immune.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
It plays better written, but
he's immune.
So if I hope we don't have to explain that to any of our fans, but if you want to know, just hit us up in the chat and we'll do it later. And that's been another episode of really
Star Wars jokes. Well done.
On a list of like 104, it was 103. I was like, oh, come on.
And those were in like sequential, and like those were like star ratings.
And we've done like 102 of them. For sure. Let's jump in, guys. Mandalorian season 2, episode 5, chapter 13. The Jedi.
Yeah.
Written and directed by Dave Filoni. Oh my goodness. Got a runtime of 40 minutes without end caps, you know, the squiggly lines on either side. Originally aired November 7th, 2020. So we didn't cover it all that long ago.
2020, you say?
2020, in the middle of COVID, we were doing other things.
Wow.
I think the timeline here is about 5-6 ABY.
I believe that is correct.
We haven't done that big jump to season 3 yet.
No.
The Disney Plus description reads, The Mandalorian journeys to a world ruled by a cruel magistrate who has made a powerful enemy. But my synopsis reads, tasked with returning the child to its own kind, the Mandalorian follows a lead from Bo-Katan to find the Jedi, Ahsoka Tano.
I like that.
Yeah, it grabs you.
Tell him Bo sent you.
Tell him Bo sent you. Cue the General Lee horn.
I was going to say you get 5 credits off.
Nice. Open on the city of Caladan on the stripped world of Corvus. It's centering on a pagoda or a temple-like structure while factories bilge filth into the yellow-gray, hazy sky. Alarm bells ring out in the decimated woodland before the city gate. Moving through the fog, a shadow illuminates illuminates twin lightsabers, dispatching armed sentries who wildly fire their blasters into the murk, missing their target as she returns into the darkness. Ahsoka Tano, cloaked in a gray poncho and using the Force to project sounds as she disorients the soldiers, moving like a ninja, eliminating them one by one, even slicing through a tree to hurl a chunk of log at an assailant. Ahsoka moves like a master through the dank wood. And I think that's maybe my first point. Like watching her move here,
she's a ghost.
She's learned a lot from Maul. Like,
yeah,
you know, so we've seen her really powerful. We've seen her do crazy stuff, have really good duels, 1-on-1, 2-on-1, even, and hold her own, do, you know, resourceful things. We've seen her lead troops in combat. We've seen her defend herself against Order 66, but we've never seen her just kill people. like just kill people. This is a different kind of Jedi. She's like, whatever's happened to her in the 20, well, I guess it's probably 5 years since Rebels, 6 years since Rebels, something like she's a woman possessed, if you will.
Oh yeah,
a Torgruta possessed.
I was thinking, rewatching it, it's like, do you guys remember Shinobi?
Yeah.
The way she moves on the toes through the woods.
Oh, it's so beautiful. And I played with the editing to make her pop in some of these shots, but it's so the viewers can see her, but it's almost does a disservice to the scene because she's not meant to be seen when she's hiding behind those trees.
We enhance the images for the viewing experience on our show, but that's not the way it necessarily was intended to be viewed.
Yeah, because she moves in and out of the swamp.
Oh my gosh,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Just and the thing being that you could still see a glimmer of her after the sabers are gone, but it's like she's using the Force to just disappear.
Yeah.
Right.
A woman dressed in red and adorned with a magistrate's cloak takes to the gantry overlooking the approach to the city gate. She's flanked by a rugged-looking man at arms and a pair of HK-87 assassin droids. The woman speaks into the night. Show yourself, Jedi. Ahsoka Tano ignites both her sabers held low by her sides, revealing she's standing right before them. Like that's awesome. She's been there the whole time.
Here.
Ahsoka, the magistrate says she's been expecting the Jedi, and Ahsoka returns, then you know what I want. But the woman atop the wall does not appear shaken. You will learn nothing from me, she jabs back. But Ahsoka is bold, confident. I will not give you that choice. She's a lot like Anakin. She's speaking, I will not give you that choice. That's the kind of negotiating tactics.
Absolute.
Right. Absolutely. So confident, so bold.
I'm giving you a choice, but you don't really have one.
Yeah, right. The magistrate attempts to play her hand as the HK droid brings a prisoner, rough and frightened looking. She soliloquies. How many lives is the knowledge I possess worth to you? 1? 10? How about 100? The lives of these citizens mean nothing to me. Now, because of you, these people will suffer. But this is not a negotiation in the style of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ahsoka is razor sharp. They already suffer under your rule. Surrender or face the consequences. You have 1 day to decide. She's not playing. I love this version of her. This is the first 5 minutes or so we've gotten of her. And I'm not even thinking about Rosario Dawson at this point.
You just see Ahsoka.
I totally see Ahsoka, which is that's what you want. Where are we? Cut to the title card. The Mandalorian Chapter 3, The Jedi. The child uses the Force to procure... the Mandalorian approaches the planet Corvus, the mysterious child by his side. The child uses the Force to procure the metallic knob that he is enamored with. As the Razor Crest lands in a burnt-out clearing, and having caught the child playing with the knob, the Mandalorian admonishes him, telling him it's supposed to stay with the ship. Having had no dealings with Jedi before, the Mandalorian surmises they should head into town to pick up a lead. Mando approaches the city gate, the child safely nestled in the side bag. He is greeted by the man-at-arms, Lang, and 2 of the armed soldiers. Lang asks if the Mando is a guild hunter. and upon acknowledgement, opens the city gates, allowing him access. Mando approaches the locals, but they are frightened and will not speak to him. Armed guards appear and inform him that the magistrate wishes to speak. He's escorted down what seems like the main street of the magistrate's palace. In front of the main entrance, people in electroshock cages plead for his help, but staying on task, he enters the open threshold. Inside, the stark blackness, well, that's a weird typo. The stark blackens. Inside the stark blackness, landscape gives way to lush greenery and clean water as the magistrate tends to her garden on a bridge spanning that water. A lone HK stands motionless at the far end behind her. The magistrate, I say the word magistrate so many times before they name her. The magistrate beckons the hunter to come forward, asking, "Are you a Mandalorian?" She tells him she has a proposition that may interest him, but he cautions her that his price is high. She tells him the target is priceless. A Jedi plagues me, and I want you to kill her. Mando admits that's a difficult task, but she believes it's one he's well suited for, seeing as the Jedi are the ancient enemy of Mandalore. Laconically, he reminds her, "My price is high." She has the droid come forward and presents a long metal spear to the hunter. "What do you make of this?" she asks, knowing he'll not be able to resist. "Beskar." He's surprised. "Pure Beskar," she tells him, "like your armor." "Where do I find this Jedi?" he asks, never really agreeing to anything.
Yeah. I do like that he's, I don't know, aloof, a little bit aloof.
I mean, it satisfies her what the deal is in her head.
Yeah.
But being that like strict man of the word, like
Yep.
that man of honor, he doesn't acquiesce anything. Fantastic.
The little clanging of the Beskar.
Letting it ring out.
Yep.
Deep in the murky woodlands, Mando and the child approach the given coordinates, and Mando cautions the youngling to keep his eyes open. They must be close. A lone convor lurks in the trees above the pair as they make their way through the sparse, dead forest. It is surely Moray, Ahsoka's familiar, and we, the audience, know she is close. I actually had him in that shot. I took the animated version and put him on the other branch.
On the branch.
Like on the other branch. So there was two of them. Yeah. I thought it'd be better to point him out.
The P&P works, I think.
Yeah. And we'll totally get into that when we hit the August 20th episode. And because I'm probably going to spend a bit of time on the Mortis arc.
I'm excited to see how that plays out in the regular series, because I mean, Morai, we just assume Morai is always there,
right?
But how does Morai keep appearing if she does not travel with Ahsoka through space?
Well, this is it, and so you really get the impression that he's some sort of extra, planier being, sort of like
based on the last one. Chances are is full access to the world between worlds, right?
Right, because he's sitting on top.
He's sitting on the gate.
Sitting on the gate. Yeah, absolutely. Mando takes a moment to place the child on a nearby rock to get his bearings. Suddenly, Ahsoka leaps from the trees. Both white blades of light and kyber crash into Mando, and he just manages to block with both Beskar bracers. It's not lost on me that she would have easily and purposefully killed anyone else in that moment. On instinct, Mando ignites his flamethrower gauntlet, but the Jedi effortlessly backflips out of the blazing garment. Mando manages to deflect several more sword strikes before snaring Ahsoka in his grappling cable. Looking up, the former Padawan of Anakin Skywalker smiles, and she just backflips over a thick branch, hoisting the Mandalorian with his own attack. He manages to cut the line, and both combatants land square in a face-off. Mando is blaster drawn, and Ahsoka both sabers at the ready. Raising a hand, he yells to the Jedi, "Ahsoka Tano! Bo-Katan sent me. We need to talk." Extinguishing her blades and relaxing from her combat posture, Ahsoka spots the child watching from his rock perch, asking, "I hope it's about him."
I gotta wonder, watching it again for the second time, that her leaping out of the trees and attacking him without, questioning the validity for somebody who was at the Siege of Mandalore, who participated in the battle, you would think that she would lead with, "Are you a Mandalorian?" In the same sense that
especially with her proximity to, like, she's been in contact with Bo-Katan recently,
right?
because I don't get the impression that this is where Ahsoka's living.
No,
I almost
Perhaps
wonder
she's sieging the town for a few days, but
maybe. I get the impression that and it's spectacular to watch. I feel like her leaping out of the tree and attacking him is almost like, if you're a Mandalorian, I should be able, this will be a test. This will prove, like, are you actually a Mandalorian?
Right.
Or are you just a hired gun stolen?
Yeah, another imposter.
Maybe Cobb Vanth doesn't do as well in that fight.
Maybe.
In the light of a gigantic half moon, Ahsoka Tano and the child commune through the Force as Mando paces back and forth like a worried parent. Eventually, smiling to the youngling, their conversation concluded. She picks the diminutive Force wielder up and brings him back to Mando, and they gather around a camp light. Mando asks if she can understand him. She tells him in a way they can feel each other's thoughts with the Force. She reveals his name to be Grogu and tells Mando that the child was raised in the Jedi Temple. And that's the first thing. When we watched it the first time, none of us could, like, pause, hold on a second before anything else happens. I need to sit with that weird name for a bit. And now it doesn't, it's so natural.
Is that like a new flavor of Oreo? What is that?
Right.
Yeah.
Did they say Goku? And she tells Mando that the child was raised in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant and trained by many Jedi. But sometime at the end of the Clone Wars, his memories grow dark. He seemed lost and alone. She asks if he can still wield the Force. Mando asks if she means his powers. That he's seen the child do things he can't explain. And in a very Obi-Wan moment, she explains the Force to Mando. Force is what gives him his powers. It is an energy field created by all living things. To wield it takes a great deal of training and discipline. He tells her that his task was to bring Grogu to the Jedi, but Ahsoka admits that the order fell a long time ago, to which Mando explains, so did the Empire, and yet they still hunt him. As the child drifts off to sleep, she tells the Mandalorian she will test him in the morning.
Interesting. Everybody's getting tested this time.
Everybody. Tested. At dawn, Ahsoka brings the pair to a small verdant area in the forest, lush with green-bright moss, and she places Grogu on a covered rock. Ahsoka picks up a small rock and, using the Force, gently floats it over to Grogu, and he catches it. She tells him to return the stone to her. He's reluctant. Mando thinks he doesn't understand, but Ahsoka knows he does. The Jedi reassures the child, but he drops the stone to the ground. She tenderly approaches him, taking his tiny hand. I sense much fear in you. It's like those classic, there's slight tweaks on these classic lines.
Oh, yeah.
You get her in that Yoda, like, it's an inverse of Dagobah, right? Like, it's so beautifully done too. She says he's hidden his abilities for many years to stay safe. Asking the Mando for assistance, she wants to try something different. She wants him to offer the stone to the child. He complies, but has little patience when the child does not. Ahsoka tells Mando that he needs to connect with Grogu. Thinking for a moment, he takes the metal knob from the ship and offers it to Grogu. With a little coaxing, Grogu quickly uses the Force to snatch his favorite toy. Mando is overjoyed, but Ahsoka is less impressed, admitting finally that she cannot train him. She says his attachment to Mando makes him vulnerable to his fear, his anger. Mando thinks all the more reason to train him, but the Jedi drops a bombshell. No, I've seen what such feelings can do to a fully trained Jedi, the best of us. I will not start this child down that path. Better to let his abilities fade. And that's the first, I need to pause this.
Yeah.
Because if she's got regrets, they certainly center around Anakin Skywalker, and whether it's her inability to save him, or if she has guilt over leaving the Order early, and sort of these things she has visions of, the things that would plague her in the small hours of the night. She says she must get back to the village, that she's delayed too long, and Mando only has one sabacc card left to play. The magistrate sent me to kill you. He tells her he didn't agree to anything, but if Grogu is properly trained, I'll help you with your problem. Mando lays down the odds, letting Ahsoka know exactly what she's up against, thinking even with twin lightsabers, they won't protect her from all that firepower. Ahsoka tells Mando who they're really up against. Morgan Elsbeth. During the Clone Wars, her people were massacred. She survived and let her anger fuel an industry which helped build the Imperial Starfleet. She plundered worlds, destroying them in the process. Telling Mando they must free any prisoners, he tells her, a Mandalorian and a Jedi, they'll never see it coming. So we get, and I'm still in that camp, and we decided this on our long form sort of review of the episode, that I firmly believe that Morgan Elsbeth is the last survivor of Dathomir.
Yeah, I'm still the jury is out on that one.
You might get an answer soon, though.
I think so. There's a popular theory surrounding her activating the navigation device,
right,
is a use of the Force. So
right, and
maybe?
I mean,
well,
she's about to go toe to toe with the chick that kicked Darth Maul's ass, and
yep,
and
she fairly well. She kind of
yeah, there is that.
There is that, yeah. Where are we?
We're approaching the gates.
At the city gate, Ahsoka appears briefly in the fog, prompting the wall guards to begin pounding on a gong-like alarm. Leaping deftly over the wall, Ahsoka fells the first guard with a sharp kick, igniting her sabers to block blaster fire. She uses the Force to rip weapons from one guard and throws it behind her to knock the second guard over the wall. The gong guard swings a large hammer at her, but she cleaves him and the iron gong in twain. The Jedi has arrived. I don't know what else to say about that scene, but it's so beautiful. She plays with that one guard, like, I'll let you go, but then rips the gun out of his hand using the Force. Doesn't even look behind her, just whips it behind her, hits him square in the head, and he tumbles over the wall. She's, if Rebels is peak Star Wars, this episode is peak Ahsoka.
Yeah,
for sure. The Jedi has arrived. Amassing at the entrance to the magistrate's palace, Elsbeth Lang, several armed guards and 2 HK-87 droids watch as Ahsoka Tano appears in the mist at the other end of the sparsely lit street. She confidently strides toward them, tossing the right shoulder pauldron of the Mandalorian at their feet. Ahsoka states bluntly, "Your bounty hunter failed. Tell me what I want to know. Where is your master?" And we're all like, oh,
what?
They're peeling the banana back real slow.
Yeah.
Tell me what I want to know. What is it you want to know? Oh, it's a master. Whoa, okay. Morgan,
the throwing of the shoulder pauldron, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
You can see that being swapped out for a head so easily in like a Shogun movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And what a great plan. Like, you can see that little scene play out, like where she goes to grab the pauldron and he pulls away, like that scene where Luke's putting the bracers on Chewie. And no, I think I know where you're going with this kind of thing.
Right.
Morgan Elsbeth spits back. Kill her. And the cadre opens fire with their weapons, the Jedi effortlessly deflecting the oncoming blaster fire. Leaping to the rooftops, Ahsoka draws the troops into the streets, bettering her odds. The courtyard, now clear, allows Mando to dispatch one remaining guard as he begins to free the caged prisoners. Ahsoka stalks her prey in the dark alleys of the city, emerging in a flourish of white lightsabers to eliminate her quarry before returning to the shadows. Lang and Mando face off in the street as Ahsoka, astride the wall to the magistrate's palace, leaps inside.
I had one thought about the palace, though, just because the air is so much purer in there.
Inside, yeah.
Is she employing some sort of shield?
There's a possibility that that's happening, sure.
Yeah. And I mean, given my opinion on who she is, I wouldn't have some weird sort of cauldron Force magic being able to do that same sort of thing.
Yeah.
As we inside on the bridge, Ahsoka and Elsbeth size one another up like gunfighters in a high noon western. Removing their cloaks, each one readies their weapons. Ahsoka, her lightsabers, the magistrate, the Beskar spear. The combatants close and the clash begins. Saber rings off impenetrable Beskar as the two exchange blows, and it's clear now that Morgan Elsbeth is a capable warrior. Jockeying for position, Ahsoka uses her acrobatic abilities to flip over her opponent, who in the moment of maximum effort manages to disarm Ahsoka of her long saber, sending it splashing into the waters. And I was like, what? I really was taken back by that.
That's not supposed to happen.
Almost like maybe she was taking this too lightly, but then you see how seriously she's taken every moment until now.
Yep.
And I think that she is actually, that move got her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with that.
It was clean, yeah.
Because she switches stance here in response.
Oh, yeah. With renewed vigor, Tano switches grips to the reverse hand style, and we know the magistrate is in for it now. Elsbeth cannot contain the repeated strikes from the skilled Jedi, and she is soon disarmed of her spear. The battle ends with Ahsoka bringing her shimmering white saber to Morgan's throat, which is also very Anakin. Ahsoka would have stopped him from doing that.
Yeah. You're beaten.
You are beaten. Back outside the gate, Lang tries to distract Mando by continually talking, telling he has no personal quarrel with the armored warrior, but the sounds of battle inside is quelled, and Lang admits that the Mandalorian that his side is lost, and he kneels to lower his weapon. Seeing the Mandalorian relax his pistol hand, Lang goes for his own sidearm, but Mando is much faster, and Lang's midsection explodes in a fiery shower of sparks. He falls dead in the dirt.
I think he felt that one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was serious.
I think he really felt that one.
It's like, was there did you have a thermal detonator on
Yes,
you? That's a big explosion for one shot.
He probably did, though.
He probably did.
Maybe he was already partly cybernetic, and that just is a reflection of hitting some of that stuff.
I tried really hard the first go around to figure out what his armor was made of.
Yeah,
it's got this Dengar kind of vibe.
It does,
It looks like he's got at least one shore trooper pauldron that's been painted. And that could just be a reuse of assets, not necessarily an in-world, I've got a stormtrooper armor.
Yeah.
Back inside Elsbeth's courtyard, we get the money shot, close-up of Ahsoka's face, her blade still at the throat of the antagonist. And we get the gigantic reveal. Now, tell me, where is your master? Where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? And I'm not sure if my jaw will ever really attach. And I mean, if we were going any more Rebels, like...
I would love to have seen, some animation that introduced, like, now you want to know who is Morgan Elsbeth. You want to know more about her.
Yeah.
What really is her connection to Thrawn?
So all this leading up to this moment is getting these Clone War vibes. She's talking about Anakin. She's acting like that sort of rogue Jedi that she has to be. And this is the first sort of inkling that, actually we're kind of more linear to Rebels. When as soon as she drops Thrawn, you're like, we're sort of on that trajectory.
Does this not make you feel that like some of the stuff we're going to see in the Ahsoka show is going to predate this episode?
I really do. Yeah, because there's a fight, and it might be in the trailer. I'm talking Sabine and Hattie. Shin Hattie,
yeah.
And it looks like they're fighting on Corvus.
Well, so in our trailer breakdown, I had suggested that it might actually be Corvus.
Right. Yeah. It
has the same kind of hazy look. It's pretty much the same guards with the gas mask stuff.
I guess it could be Exegol.
Could be interesting.
It would be neat.
I kind of thought, is Corvus, like what we saw in the trailer, is Corvus too on the nose? Like maybe it's not. Like,
but you could be right with, like, Mr. Filoni has said, things aren't necessarily linear. But they have said that this is supposed to run congruent with the third season of Mando, but that doesn't mean all of it has to be. Like the through line could definitely.
Exactly. Yeah.
In the wake of,
can come up like no problem.
That's right.
Easily.
Look at Boba Fett, right?
Yeah.
And,
oh my gosh, yeah.
A little time travel could throw everything into the crazy array there too. Yeah. In the wake of victory, the folk of Corvus celebrate in the streets, the citizens selecting one of their own as the new magistrate, adorning him with the robes. Outside the city gate, Ahsoka offers the Beskar spear to Mando. I believe this was your payment. But ever a man of honor, he admits he didn't fulfill the conditions of its procurement. Ahsoka smiles at him, telling him, however, that it belongs with the Mandalorian. He accepts and tells her he must go to the ship to get Grogu so that she may begin his training. And then we're sort of reminded that this show is actually about these two.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because this moment, it's still sort of a little bit painful because they haven't even really bonded. Like he hasn't lost him and then recovered him and gone through hell and given him up to, and that moment with the naked face touch and all that.
Yeah.
Crazy,
oh yeah.
You know,
the other things that make you cry.
Right. The other ones. Back at the Razor Crest, Mando finds Grogu fast asleep in his tiny hammock. He tells the child awake that it's time to say goodbye, but the child barely stirs, nestling tighter. For an undisclosed amount of time, Mando holds the child in his arms, staring down at his diminutive charge. So long, I think, that Ahsoka comes to them. Outside the ramp, Ahsoka tells Mando, "You're like a father to him. I cannot train him." But Mando protests, "You promised, and I held up my end." She stares at the child and exhales a long sigh before dropping the episode's second bombshell. There is one possibility. Go to the planet Tython. There you will find the ancient ruins of a temple that has strong connection to the Force. Place Grogu on the Seeing Stone at the top of the mountain. Then what? Mando inquires. And she adds, then Grogu may choose his path. If he reaches out through the Force, there's a chance a Jedi might sense his presence and come searching for him. Then again, there aren't many Jedi left. Mando thanks her, and she offers them a hearty, "May the Force be with you." And as the Razor Crest lifts off for Tython, the Jedi strides off into the wood. Cut to black. Tython. I mean, that, like, I remember saying we're hitting Star Wars bedrock.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff going on in this episode that doesn't bear on Ahsoka Tano, like the thread taking him for training and the fatherly aspect and the reason really why we're here is for him to find her, but focusing on her bits. I mean, the things that I think, like, if we're talking about why is this significant to the character development of Ahsoka Tano, it's now we're adjacent to the series that we're about to embark on.
This is a post galactic civil war Ahsoka Tano, who now maybe for the first time in her life is able to devote some time to her personal goals or personal, dare I say, wants.
And I think this is significant moving forward because this episode was written and directed by Dave Filoni.
Yep.
And all 8 episodes that we're about to get will be written and directed by Dave Filoni.
Yeah.
And so it feels like we're in good hands. It feels like we're going to get a good ride for at least 8 episodes.
I think so as well.
And I love that single vision sort of. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Mandos have been amazing with that.
The guest directors, that whole thing
has been killing it, knocking it out of the park. But I love that sort of single vision, that clarity of purpose. That
there's a cohesion there that's just not necessarily.
And I always might cite Smallville because it's so like perfectly done linearly. Significant as we make the jump from animation to live action, and hence the switch from actors portraying the character for what's 15 years now. We've had Ahsoka Tano, Ashley Eckstein, and it's absolutely standing through her tenure. But we make way for the fandom picked Rosario Dawson, and I don't think I wasn't in that camp that was complaining about her tales being too short. It was in the back of my head, but it wasn't anything that ripped me out of it.
I think I was just more, for me, it was more from a practical point, like, oh, I get why they've done this because she's got to be able to move.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So it didn't really bother me. It was like, oh, it's too bad, but I get it.
The first time I watched it, I watched it, like, I try to watch them all first like a fan, like casually, and try to enjoy it before I start to dissect it. And not once did I go, oh, come on, where's Ashley? Oh, come on.
I didn't
It was
either.
just the character.
I didn't
And
do
then when
that
I
either.
on subsequent watches, watching her mannerisms and watching the way she smiled and the way she moved her body, and went, she's been studying.
Oh, she's done her homework. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait for this thing. What is it? 16 days? 15 days?
Yeah. Yeah. We are. Wow. What is it? It's August
23rd.
23rd. So we're
on the 7th today.
Yeah. So I think we are 16. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. 16 days. I'm interested to know, like we just talked about Go to Tython, the henge, the seeing stone. There's a whole lot of questions there for me. Like, wow, apparently the seeing stones are a Jedi a telephone system.
Right.
What's that about?
There's a verisimilitude to all these temples that we're seeing, you know, whether it's the iconography carved in the walls, whether it's the sort of henge structures, whether it's they're all sort of circular in nature.
Yeah, they do share that.
And the pointing stones also acting like a focusing for a satellite.
Yeah,
right?
very much so. Yeah.
Well, it's neat to like think that that's their like make a galactic call through the force. Perhaps it focuses their energy enough to be able to
just,
you know,
it just makes you wonder, like, you know, is that something? And it very much could be. That could be something that we see more of in, say, a show like The Acolyte, which is going to be even further back in history. Wouldn't you like to see what these sites were actually intended for?
I mean, it's so we focus on these characters that are the pinnacle. You know, Anakin Skywalker, like Dave Filoni. I guess I don't even know why this caused a fervor, but apparently there was a fervor in the fandom when he said that Anakin Skywalker is the best Jedi to ever be a Jedi, and people went, whoa, how can you know? But like,
sure,
I don't disagree. Like, I mean, midi-chlorian counts, things of that nature. But we're focusing on our Obi-Wans and our Yodas and our Mace Windows and our Ahsoka Tanos. It would be neat to have a Prodigy style show where, because not everybody who is a Jedi has 50 million midi-chlorians. There's some people that are like have 90.
That's right.
Right. That are technically Jedi, but they're not, you know. And so
they get a nosebleed every time they move a rock.
Well, Grogu at 50 or 1, say, you know, like if they scale him, needs this seeing stone with this powerful temple to project his force ability.
In order to do that,
Luke Skywalker can just do it from wherever the heck he is.
Sure.
Although technically he was in the temple. He was just outside the temple on a stone. Too. So maybe there is something to that.
Well, but Yoda was already on Dagobah at that point, so who knows?
The gardening Jedi, yes.
Mind's Mouth on YouTube, the gardening Jedi.
No, exactly. There's sanitation workers and people that work in the Jedi cafeteria.
Well, we
floating your egg roll over to you.
Broom.
That's Broom Boy.
Broom Boy.
Right.
Broom Boy down in the stables.
Well, and then there's that. There's like, you know, if there's this list that they have on a holocron of all these children and that's destroyed,
right?
Then there's all kinds of children wielding the Force, or at least potentially wielding the Force.
Sorry, when you say
that doesn't stop, right?
Just for the audience sake, talk about the holocron. We were talking about the one from Fallen Order.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So which was the sort of the crux of that game, was to go and find this list of force sensitives throughout the galaxy
and rebuild the Jedi Order, and at the same time protect those children from Palpatine, who seems bent on, you know, collecting children. But you do, when you take away the lens of sort of morality, you go, so were the Jedi.
Oh, but that's so true.
That's how the stormtroopers kind of did things too. And the First Order seems to be following suit. And doesn't it seem safer to just clone people?
We like to get them young. Mind's Mouth, follow-up comment. We need more artifacts in the series. Specifically Sith artifacts.
What do you think about that? I love that stuff. If Mind's Mouth, if you've ever read any of the Dr. Aphra comics, or even where they tie into sort of the Star Wars stuff, she's basically a Sith artifact hunting character. Really, she's like Indiana Jones sort of kind of vibe character. And I mean, the Mask of Mormont, where Vader puts it on an Imperial officer, and this Sith architect from 10,000 years ago comes to life, inhabits his body, and builds his temple on Mustafar. So if that's the kind of thing that you're into, I strongly suggest you check out the comics, because there's all kinds of artifact stuff going on there.
I want to touch back on the Dathomir thing, because Morgan Elsbeth, she's going to be obviously she's one of the major, she's a major antagonist for this series coming up.
Yeah.
If she is, in fact, one of the witches of Dathomir. Now, we're not talking about the Mother Talzin and her people, but or maybe we are. We know that from Fallen Order that the witches of Dathomir have dwindled a lot. But now we've seen Palpatine performing what I think to be Sith sorcery in the World Between Wolves and Adore episode. We see Elizabeth activating the navigation device at the henge. We could see more alternate Force uses via sorcery and magic.
And technically, the last time we were there is in the Fallen Order game we were talking about.
That's correct. That's right.
So there are like floaty ghosts out there that still, like, even in Rebels. I guess actually Rebels takes place after that.
Right. Look at what's going on. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's not played it, but in the sequel in Jedi Survivor, I mean, Cal is given a talisman. Like, wait a minute, we can now just pack elements of magic into a talisman, and now we can travel through space.
Right. I mean,
Lord of the Rings, they packed the light of the elves into
that's true.
Crystal thing.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I agree. I like that stuff that just adds more to the myth, the mythology. I love that stuff.
It's probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most, aside from just more of Ahsoka being Ahsoka, is the new breadth that we got from Clone Wars and Rebels about the Force, like visiting Mortis, and then all the holocron stuff, and visiting the temples, all that stuff. On Lothal, I'm just knocked out by that sort of thing, and I think I'm really looking forward to getting more esoteric, if you will. If we're willing to sit through Senate meetings and banking clan inaugurations,
that's right.
I'm really into the mythology of the Force.
I am too, as well. And I mean, that is certainly going to be, that is one aspect that I think we're all kind of looking forward to, is Sabine Force sensitive or not?
I mean, you go back and you watch that episode where Kanan's training her, and it's I would say it skews heavily in that direction.
It kind of does. It does kind of do that.
I don't get the feeling that he's not saying the words "use the Force, clear your mind," blah blah blah, like he does with Ezra. But I don't get the impression that just anybody can pick up a lightsaber and connect with it. You might be able to wield it. You might be able to cut a tauntaun open and stuff.
I was going to say, I mean, Han Solo can use it as a tool, and
exactly, like a tool.
Cut his own leg off.
But it would be the same thing if I picked up a samurai sword. I might be able to cut you with it, but I'm not going to be able to cleave you in twain in a way that, what I mean? Like,
oh, I do. Yeah.
You're probably going to disarm me.
Man, we've got one more live action episode that we're going to get through next week, and it is the Book of Boba Fett, and then it's the special Hank list, which we should probably publish that.
Yes,
in the next
I'm going to have that. I'll have that information to you,
so we can publish that, and you guys can take a look at those episodes, which we're going to talk about in our last episode before we dive into Ahsoka Tano. I love these
show.
I love these titles, how they almost write themselves, but
they do. Yeah,
they do.
What if they do something without an A and an N in it? We're screwed.
I know.
Bandor, Mando, Ahsoka, Tano.
I know.
We're good. Just keep pumping them out.
What are we gonna do for the Acolyte?
Oh no.
The Fankalite? That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Facolite?
That really doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
Well, that's a tomorrow
We've
problem.
got some time to worry about that. The Jude Law, something Jude Law.
The Keanu Reeves show.
Seriously. Oh, that's a whole
rumor.
other thing. Yeah.
Isn't that a cool rumor?
Yeah, that is a cool rumor.
I've heard it's like a cameo, but like that's a guy I could have stick around in a whole series and play something cool. Rarely have I seen him play a villain.
No, that's
true. It'd be kind of neat to see him stretch his chops like that.
Well, he gets to play half a villain in Bill and Ted
Constantine?
Face the Music.
Oh well, yeah,
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
They
yeah.
face the
Yeah,
evil
yeah.
versions of
They get
themselves.
to be evil versions of themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I guess, and Bogus Journey too, because they do evil version of Ted there as well.
And he's the son
Evil
of the
Bill,
devil
Evil
in several
Ted.
movies.
That's right. That's right. Well, everybody, this has been our latest episode of The Road to Ahsoka. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us for the last hour or so. It's been a great time, as always. We will be back next week. But if you're looking for more, come hang out with us tomorrow night, as it's our latest episode, our next episode of Random Fandom Tuesday, the show where we talk about the entertainment and pop culture headlines that caught our attention over the last week or so. It is a call-in show. We absolutely look forward to taking your phone calls tomorrow night. The technology works. You can always hit us up in our custom. We got a WhatsApp link there in every video. It's also in the banner of our YouTube channel, as well as on our Facebook page. So definitely think about doing that. Otherwise, join us in the live chat on whatever platform you happen to be watching from. That being said, thanks, Mind's Mouth. Take care, guys. Thumbs up. Yes, totally appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much for that. Hope to see you again on the next one. Anybody got anything they want to close out on before we shut this one down for the night?
The road's we're getting to the end.
It's a lot shorter now.
Man.
Yeah. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Check out my Instagram for that 16 days post. It's going to be like try to post one a day. I did open the Rosario Dawson. I don't know if you've got yours open yet, Wes.
I have not.
Acquired one.
I have not.
It's
I do have one.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it because of these sort of ninja style pants, she has some neat articulation that I've not seen before, and it's pretty great.
That's very cool. There's going to be a big opening party here when I get my renovation done. I've held off opening pretty much everything until the renovation is done, so I have a backlog of, well, let's just say it's more than I have fingers and possibly toes.
I've been doing that since 2015. My backlog is huge. I'm recovering nicely, though. You can sort of see.
I did see today, actually, when I was out, I did see on the peg. I saw a Tala Durth in Imperial uniform today. I was tempted, but then I
had to pump the brakes at GameStop on the weekend and ended up with a short round because I could have
how do you not
spent $200 on indie figures?
Short round. He's totally worth
it's
getting.
Fantastic.
He's so worth getting.
Yeah, man.
You call him Dr. Jones.
No more parachutes.
All right. Listen, everybody, for all of us here at Fandom Power, my name is Wes.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Hank.
And we will all see you on the next one. So have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.